Hey Internet, and welcome back to another video. So a few days ago I uploaded a video, whatever, and I wanted to make a follow-up video because I'd gotten some comments or whatever, and I want to address them in this video. Because I had mentioned how in that video, I haven't rewatched the video or anything, I'm just going based on what the comments said. I don't like rewatching my videos, I hate how my voice sounds afterwards. But in that video, basically, so, as you can see, I was not planning on filming today. But in that video, basically I had said that socialism and anarchism were similar. So I feel the need to now address that. Okay. So, one, there is a thing called social anarchy, which is a lot like socialism. I am not a social anarchist, but social anarchy is a lot like socialism. It's literally in the name. It's in the name, right? And while they are different in some aspects, obviously they're not copy and paste, they're incredibly similar. In the video, I mentioned that I was an individualist, insurrectionist, anarchist, right? So one of the comments kind of took that, and then most people don't really know what anarchy really is, same as most people don't know what communism really is. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about everything. I don't. I wish I did, but I don't. That's just a fact of life. Okay? And I'm always the type of person that is willing to learn anything. I love learning. I love being educated. I love nourishing my brain. It just feels gooder, right? To know things and be educated. It is such a good feeling. I love it. So, right, with that said, I am... Okay? It just, to me, comes off like a lot of people think anarchism just means no government, but there are actually dozens of different things about anarchism that doesn't follow the same exact script. For instance, right? The reason why I say I'm an individualistic insurrectionist anarchist is because individualist anarchist by itself, I agree with the core principle of individual anarchist. I just don't agree with the method in how it is achieved. Individualist anarchist has a history, and I'm even going to pull stuff up. I have my laptop set for this. I'm going to pull stuff up to like show. I don't have anything pulled up right now, but I'm going to pull stuff up. Don't worry. So individualist anarchy it's always been about, just make small changes, just like basically lead a horse to water type. Whereas insurrectionist anarchy aligns it a lot more with me, but I'm also an individualist at the same time. Like, you can be both. I'm an individualistic insurrectionist anarchy because I believe the government is as corrupt as sepsis, and you don't, if someone has stage 4 cancer, you don't just slowly treat and hope that it goes away, now do ya? No. Alright, if someone has sepsis, you amputate the arm, don't you? Burn it to the fucking ground. That is my opinion, is that you can't fix corruption. Corruption will always exist. So instead, you kill it at the source. Okay? Just replacing one corrupt guy to the next corrupt guy, regardless of which side it is not going to fix the fucking issue. It's not, okay? Because, hate to be the bearer of bad news, but a bunch of rich white guys don't really give a fuck about you or me. Especially me. But that's just a fact. Now I'm going to pull up a little article to showcase the difference between socialism and social anarchy. Though I do want to add here, I have little notes that are on the side. So excuse me if I'm looking over here. Some are like me, individualists, some are collective, some are market-based, and some are communist. There's communist anarchy. There's even capitalist anarchy, which I find to be, not real anarchism, even though technically it's capitalist anarchy, but, that sounds counterintuitive to me and kind of defeats the point of anarchy. Also, anarchy is a Greek word that derives from anarchia, which basically translates to no rulers or no authority. Just wanted to say that. But anyways, I'm going to pull up the thing in a minute. Sorry, I like to ramble I'm sorry, I got ADHD, man. I talk a lot. That's just kind of a given. Thank you. Anyways, like I was saying, you don't have to agree with any of this, but if you're going to criticize them, we should all at least understand what they actually are and what they represent. Because anarchy is not only philosophical, but it's also political. You know, it could like so I got the article pulled up. I pulled up a wiki. My only real like thing is like in the comment that I did get, I'm not gonna like bring it up or anything, it's whatever. You know, people have their own opinion as long as, you're cordial about it. You know. But so they basically said how socialism, since it's socialism and anarchy can't be anything alike because anarchy is individual, so how can something that's individual, be the same? That's simply not true, because there are multiple forms of anarchy. I am an individualist, insurrectionist anarchist, so I disagree with socialism. I do. But there's also social anarchy, which I have it pulled up right here, and I'm going to show you my screen. Okay, so here's what I got pulled up. If you want to pause and read, be my guest. But like I said, it's literally also known as socialist anarchy right there. So, not really true that it's not like socialism. Do they differ? Yeah. I never said that they're the exact same whatsoever. They aren't. They obviously aren't. Just like socialism and communism aren't the same thing. What? My beliefs is that an individual has full autonomy over their own self. You cannot be forced to anything. For instance, I'm going to use an example, right? If the community, right, wants to build a community pool, right, but you yourself don't feel like pitching in that pool, right. So everyone else goes to build that pool, right? You have the full autonomy to not pitch in. You don't have to help whatsoever. But you also don't get to benefit off the labor of someone else. Because if you didn't help, you as the individual chose that, you also don't get a benefit off of other people's labor. Mutual aid. If they put in this much work, you have to provide something of as much value to the thing. Mutual aid brings into the next topic, mutual aid. Which my opinions about the whole mutual trade, basically barter system, is mixed. Well, I do think it's a good option. I do see flaws within it, and I'm not exactly sure how it would 100% work anyways. But I also feel like you could also keep the same, well, obviously making alterations to it, but you could also keep the same currency-based sort of economic system while making major, obviously, structural changes to it. But that's for another conversation. I try not to post too many political things, because my main thing is entertainment. I'm here to entertain, but I also won't be quiet about my beliefs or what I have to say, because no one made anything worthwhile while being complacent. You don't get to be who you want to be by being what everyone else wants you to be. I actually have a whole list of anarchy and different philosophical and political books that I want to get. My boyfriend's giving me this criminal mind psychology book for my birthday. Like I said, I like to learn. The mind is the most fascinating thing to me. How the human brain works, how it differs from all other life among the entire planet. The human brain is so fascinating. It's so intriguing. It's just so different. And I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, here's this other article that I've read, if you're interested. If you want to take a look at it. This is the other article that I've read and done research on. So this is one of the articles that I've read. It's this. So feel free to read that if you want, If you made it this far into the video, leave a comment and say dog. Halo. Dog. That's what you gotta comment. Dog. If you made it this far. Yeah, dog. Okay, no face. We've been over this. Hi. Like I was saying, me personally, right? I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I know. So, freedom and individual rights are very important to me. I'm a bisexual black woman dating a white man, so I deal with enough people as is. Yeah. Luckily, I haven't really had to deal with too much like homophobia because I'm in a straight passing relationship. Hasn't been the main focus. However, you know, I am now an atheist. I've been an atheist since I was 16 years old. Right? So, being an atheist, also, I reject all forms of organized religion. So, I'm the type of person who doesn't really agree. Wow, shocker, I'm an atheist, blah, blah, blah. I can already hear the comments now. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even going there. I'm a mess, man. I know it. I was not even planning to film this video. This is like a spur of the moment video. But I felt like it was, I'm not attacking anyone in this video. I'm not calling anyone names or, was the comment a little distasteful? Yeah, but it's whatever. It didn't really bother me. I just felt the need to, sort of better state my beliefs because I feel like that video didn't do enough justice because it was crammed into 10 minutes. I didn't really have time. It was kind of rushed, so I feel like this would be better to explain what I really mean rather, I don't know. I'm awkward, okay? So I'm gonna read the first paragraph for the anarchy library thing. So, yeah. Anarchism is a political philosophy that seeks the total liberation of humankind from exploitation and domination. Anarchists advocate class struggle as the means of overthrowing the capitalist relations and the state. I am really bad. I don't have my glasses, okay? I'm really bad at reading on a screen. As I was saying, anarchists advocate class struggle as the means of overthrowing the capitalist relations in the state, and in their place advocate a federalist socialist society. I love to be corrected, if I'm wrong. But if you're going to correct me, make sure you yourself are not also wrong. You can't call me, uneducated and unbiased and then, proceed to also be wrong. Like I said, I love being proven wrong, if I'm actually wrong, because that means that I can learn, educate, and become more educated. Therefore, enhance brain, because I love making brain smarter. Brain likes knowledge. Brain doesn't get enough dopamine like it's supposed to. I blame ADHD. My dopamine receptors are so fucking low that literally anything will make that shit whoop, and it feels great. I love learning. I love learning about, especially the human brain. It's just so fascinating. It's so fascinating. I'm incredibly fascinated by criminal psychology, especially. I almost became a forensic psychologist, but as you can see, I don't really do well with authority. I'm a goth punk, so authority is not really my thing. But, I did have a forensic class in high school, and I loved that shit. That's what made me want to become a criminal psychologist or a forensic psychologist, because I really just wanted to be around dead bodies. I know that sounds fucked up, but I want to be a murder solver. I want to figure out how body died, what happened. Cool. It's cool, enticing. Brain loves it. Brain loves learning, puzzles, figuring stuff out. It's cool. Anyways, like I said, ADHD, I got distracted. I'm gonna go back to reading this. Like I was saying, I have to lean over like this. My back is fucking killing me. Like I was saying, a federalist social society organized through self-management in both the community and the workplace. Anarchism was born in the workers' movement in the mid 1800s, and the idea of workers themselves were articulated by intellectuals like, I'm gonna zoom in real quick, Bakunin, so butchered that, I've heard of these names before, and every time I read them, I butcher them. Every time. Because, also, I've only been, like, getting into this stuff. If you had asked me, like, a year ago if I was into philosophy or politics, the answer would have been a flat out no. See, the thing about having an ADHD brain is that, you know, I tend to just develop new interests, like Pokemon. I collect them all. Alright? If I were to perfect every single interest that I have, I would be unstoppable, bro. They'd fucking kill me, alright? Unfucking stoppable. But you know the downside of ADHD? While you do develop all these crazy ass interests and hobbies, you lack the ability or the structure to be able to focus on one and actually make it good enough to profit off of or good enough to actually be beneficial. Instead, it's just a cool interest. You know, because if I ever tried to sit down long enough, I would lose interest so quickly. My brain would be like, yeah, this is boring now. No longer interested. I don't understand. It's like, you want me to have these cool interests, but you won't allow me to perfect them. Brain broken, brain go burr. Anyways. Crop, you know, gotta be a little silly. Don't take yourself too seriously. Okay? Taking yourself seriously is how you look old. Don't take yourself too seriously. You know, line up a little bit. Kropotkin in Malatesta. As a political and philosophical anarchism, anarchism not only aims to analyze the real forms of oppression that exist in society, but also to transform human relations to achieve the maximum of human freedom, harmonized with communal development. Unfortunately, well, I'm on the second paragraph now. I might as well read this one too, because I did pause a lot in that first one. Unfortunately, two problematic tendencies develop within anarchism. Like I said, I feel like every system itself has issues. I don't think there's any one perfect society or one perfect system, because that would imply perfect human beings, which simply is not the case. That will never ever be the case, you know. But, you know, I'm an anarchist. In fact, I've basically been an anarchist since I was a teenager. I just didn't have a label for it, if that makes sense. Since I was 14, I've always rejected capitalism. I've always thought it was fucked up and wrong. I've always rejected politics. But the problem was I rejected more so politics because I thought politics themselves were the issue. So I was very apolitical because I thought politics themselves were the fundamental problem. Nah, people just fucking suck, man. Really fucking suck. Oh, and then it brings down insurrectionists. Do I dare read this entire thing? This would be a very long video if I read this entire damn article. I'm not gonna read the entire article, but I am gonna pull up some points that it makes right here. Okay, we're gonna quickly blaze through this little quick part. Okay. Unfortunately, two problematic. I don't see these two things as problematic, by the way, but you know, this is the article. Two problematic tendencies develop within anarchism that would either see the political philosophy as only concerned with the individual freedom, which obviously I think an individual should, because no one else, not a single human being, not even your own fucking parents, know what is best for you other than yourself, right? No one, because for instance, right, your parents might want you to have one career field, right, but you feel like you would be miserable, right, just because you would probably make more money in the career field that they want. But say you want to do something else that would make you a lot more happy. Do you do what makes them happy just because they know what's best for you, or do you go with what makes you yourself, the individual, fucking happy? Seems like a no-brainer to me, but yeah, now I actually have to break this into 3 parts. Okay, like I was saying, I'm now going to read this really quick. Unfortunately, two problematic tendencies develop within anarchism that would either see the political philosophy as only concerned with individual freedom, individualism, or based in itself upon the radical action of tiny minorities, insurrectionism. It has to be acknowledged that the second of these, insurrectionism, is often a collective philosophy in its goals, but it strategizes and tactics more reflect the nature of an individualist philosophy. While it may seem anti-theatical at first, I want to argue that it is only a small group of individual anarchisms and insurrectionist tactics to the most degraded form of Marxist political Stalinism. That is a book I want to get right now, the Marxist one. I already have it on my list. As individualism and insurrectionism developed from the decline of anarchism's relationship with the class struggle, so too did Stalinism develop from the destruction of the socialist movement. Individualist and insurrection ideas emerged and made an indelible mark on anarchism during the long global defeat of the working class movements in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, where anarchism slowly lost its place in the social movement in the working class. While this sounds like a broad period of time, as it is during which working class movements actually blossomed in many nations, it is also reflected the uneven geographical development of these movements. Although the entire period was marked by cyclical uptakes in working class movements and subsequent suppression, despite different causes for the repression, the general pattern was the same in most nations. But yeah. But I think this video is getting a little long, as is. But if you want more content about me delving into my beliefs and everything, and especially anarchism, I'm an anarchist. I firmly stick with that, 100%. I'm not changing that, whatever. But I've already read this entire thing. But if you want to get more into my brain, I would love to make more content talking about more, I wouldn't necessarily say intellectual topics, but more of these intriguing sort of mind-based sort of topics. Because I don't do a lot of talking videos. I normally do either aesthetic content, gaming content. I don't really do a lot of talking to the camera videos. And I think this is kind of fun. I would love to do more content like this. I would even love to delve into even more things like communism, socialism, the different forms of anarchism and how they all play their own separate roles. I didn't have enough time to delve into mutualism, so I definitely will make a follow-up video delving into what mutualism really is and how it's like a barter system, whatever. But yeah, if you're interested, please drop a follow or subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Valkyrie signing out. Bye. Don't forget to like my video. Thank you. I feel like a badass. Ooh. It's a fucking bowling ball, though. There's there is sunglasses built into this, by the way. Well, I have sunglasses built into it. How well can you see my face? So. This isn't so bad.